Good evening, and welcome to Berlin High School in the Gibney Gymnasium for tonight's women's basketball game between the Panthers of Platt High School and the Berlin Lady Redcoats. Tonight's starting lineups. First, for Platt, number 1, Liana Alcantara. Number 2, Jalexia West. Number 3, Walika Bailey. Number 13, Aaliyah Burnley. And number 21, Christina Campbell. And now for your Lady Redcoats. Senior captain number 12, Winter Johan. Junior number 20, Riley Kopp. Junior number 21, Claire McGeever. Sophomore number 23, Lindsay Eckroth. And sophomore number 30, Olivia Halkias. We ask you to please rise and remove your hats for the playing of the national anthem.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Tonight we have the Berlin Redcoats facing off against Platt for an early start to the game. This is the last game for the Redcoats in the regular season, and they will be playing it here at home. Coming off of a big win after homecoming, after their senior night. We'll hope to see how they come off with this final game and wrap up their season. Also, out of mention, I'm John McGeever here with Connor.
Sorry about that. I'm Connor Therian. Thanks, John, for the wonderful intro.
Sorry for that. And as we now look onto the court and watch the tip-off.
Should be an exciting game tonight, John.
Yeah, after that rough start, anything could be exciting.
True. Seniors looking to end on a high note. As
Platt winning that tip-off.
Number 21, McGeever, picking up number 1 from Platt. Good hands by McGeever to steal that ball.
I think Berlin has a chance to show off their defensive strength and defensive ability, but also their ball movement. As Halkias drives it down to Kopp, back out to Eckroth, ends up with Winter Jovan. But like I was saying before, Connor, Berlin, I think, definitely has a chance to show off their dominance, both offensively and defensively, and show their composure, something that in other games they've done extremely well at, and other games they haven't.
I agree entirely with that. Just looking early on in this game, some really crisp passes. I know a couple of games I've seen is Kopp fired a 3 off the mark. Lindsay coming up with it, puts it up strong, gets the 2 shots. As I was saying, Berlin really tightening up these crisp passes, something we haven't really, in the games that I've seen, haven't been the crispest. Really coming out strong, as you said, showing off their versatility and their one of their strengths.
And that is junior Lindsay Eckroth, who drew the foul.
Sinks the first on reinforcing the fact that Berlin is a very, very solid free throw shooting team.
Drains the second one.
Sinks the second one, upholding the rack.
Berlin now on the board, but like you were saying before, Connor, you know, something that we've seen throughout all these games is just strong free throw shooting. And reinforcing it tonight is the junior, Lindsay Eckroat, with those first 2 points for Berlin, as Kopp now to the floor.
As Lindsay now picks up her first foul, Berlin's first foul. As you said, John, Berlin being such a dominant team, as we saw their dominant win home here last week, a lot of the points were on the free throws. Free throws can win you games. Berlin needs to continue that streak if they want to win this one, as Platt sinks their first one to make it a 2-1 game.
Yeah, and something we definitely saw against the boys team is the power of foul shots. When you get into the bonus, when you get fouled for a shot and you go up for 2, that's going to be a jump ball headed in Berlin's direction. But you know, those big key moments in the game that can be very insignificant with 2 points can eventually add up, and you can get into the bonus, or you can get into the double bonus, or you could, you know, cost your team 2 points off of a simple mistake. Something we saw a lot in the men's game. Just in general, the power of the free throw is, you know, immeasurable in some instances.
As Jovan off the mark from 3. Kopp comes up in a tussle for the ball, jump ball, Panthers ball going down the court.
Yeah, Kopp losing her footing there, unable to get a quick stance and kick the ball out.
Berlin really needs to secure these boards if they wanna look to stay in the game. We've seen in the last game, we saw them dominate under the rim. Looking to continue here. They look to be possibly a little physically outmatched in terms of height, as the fadeaway little jumper floater falls for Platt to give him the lead.
And McGeever now trying to drive to the hoop. Tries to get off to her teammate.
As Lindsay,
she goes up for 2, gets fouled eventually.
I mean, they seem to be giving Berlin the pain. You saw McGeever kind of just walk down there and find Eckroat. There's McGeever for 3, just off the mark.
Those are now 3 big shots that Berlin has made from 3 different shooters, I believe, and none have gone in. Maybe something that they have to build on throughout this game. I mean, just in general, their shots have always been very inconsistent from far out this early on in the game. As Halkias just takes the ball. Halkias going almost coast to coast. Kopp ready to finish it. No.
No good, as Eckroat will be shooting 2 again in the position.
I've been saying her name a lot.
She's one, yeah, exactly correct.
Making plays.
She's making plays, you know, in for the injured junior bio. She does seem to be in good spirits, though. It's the first one off the mark.
You know, just a quick flashback to that drive right there. Halkias missing that layup, and then Kopp coming in trying to finish that off. Not able to. You know, there's just things like that. Things like that, as McGeever breaks up the ball, kicks it out of bounds. Things like that need to fall. You know, the 3-point shots maybe not so much, but early on in this game, easy layup shots like that definitely need to go in Berlin's direction if they want to win. As Platt has the open lane.
As Platt easily broke Berlin's man-to-man press there. Even Kopp open for 3, just off the mark.
You know, Platt might be just saying right now to themselves as they lose the ball, but Platt might be saying to themselves, Connor, there's no reason why we shouldn't be playing back. You know, Berlin hasn't shown them that they can make a 3. Berlin hasn't shown them that they can make any far-out shot so far. And all of their points have been in the paint. And by in the paint, I mean getting fouled in the paint. So there's no reason. Berlin looking for a foul there. Unfortunately, can't get it.
As Berlin looking for a call, not getting it.
Not able to get it.
Still looking, get the ball in the winner. Pump fake, drive. Almost gets it to fall. A little fancy Euro step into that. As the Panthers of Platt are pushing the ball up the court. McGeever picking her up at half court, not backing off.
Yeah, Berlin playing that one defender up high to try to soften the defense as Kopp gets that rebound and brings it down the court.
Run the full floor. Kristen McGeever. Halkias now. Little give and go. Nothing down low for her. As Berlin now sets their offense back up top.
Yeah, McGeever saw Halkias in the corner. McGeever has a chance, kicks out to Halkias. Halkias loses the ball. Eckroat comes and saves it though. But you can see there, Berlin really struggling to find that lane that normally they do, but against this Platt defense, which is just outnumbers them in size.
They're dominated physically tonight. As Berlin makes a couple of key mental errors here early. As it looks like the freshman Ellison set to check in. So we had our first mask break.
First mass break of the game, last mass break of the season, maybe for this women's team.
Last first quarter mask.
There you go. There you go. Sorry, excuse me. Not for the end of their season.
No, I hope for their
a little too early for that.
I hope for their sanity, that they don't have to spend these next 3 quarters with these masks.
Right.
On.
But yeah, as the season winds down for Berlin, this last 3 quarters, they need to make sure that they end on a positive note, just for their own right. Don't want to come out soft and basically continue with the whole game. You want to finish strong, just like any team would. But if they want to start strong, give them some advice. Build the shot, build the shot from the inside. Obviously, it's hard to drill the lane, and you can't right now. And the baseline's not open, just because we could see that when those corner shots are open, Berlin oftentimes will go and drive, and they're not driving because there's nothing open. So if Berlin wants to just start building on their shots, maybe start the elbow, start at the free throw line, and work their way out. Eventually, they'll be warmed up and able to take those long shots, but maybe not off the rip like they want to.
I entirely agree with that, John. As you saw, Berlin, such an offensively dominant team in the last game. Only 3 points halfway through the first quarter. They really do need to get their shots falling.
Ooh, as Kopp draws that foul. Ooh.
They call a blocking foul on her.
It is on. Never mind. It is on Kopp.
Looks like she drew the charge. She was moving her feet. As Platt is working the ball around the top. As a floater from number 1 on Platt does not fall. McGeever able to save her handles though. Well, spin moves, leaves her defender in the dust.
McGeever has an open lane. She pulls it out. Doesn't see it working out for her. But Platt playing a phenomenal defensive game right now, and there's no complaints if you're Platt right now and you're watching this defense. You're just saying keep it up.
They're doing
it right there. The baseline locked off, and the pass blocked off.
Platt's doing everything they need to do to be ahead by Berlin. They're doing it all well. Berlin, like as we keep saying, they just need these shots to fall, and this is Berlin's game easy. They're only down 2 with 2.5 minutes left. It's very, very strong defense from both teams. Berlin running their man-to-man.
Wow. Quick shot by Platt, getting it by number 2 in the paint, spinning around and pulling that shot. Something that we've seen to a lesser extent this whole game in their 7 points, but never to that degree.
That was a strong finish, number 2 from Platt over the freshman Ellison.
You can see Jovan in there getting the ball on her hip. Unfortunately, couldn't get it into the right hand to even make a play off of it.
As they're whipping the ball around the key now. Halkias drives in, draws a foul, goes down hard, gets up though.
Yeah, I mean, that might be Berlin's plan of action right now. The first quarter was experimenting, and now they have to know what their limits are, and their limits really are just drive and try to make a good shot, and understand that this Platt team will foul them. It might be just about being tough this game.
First one's off the mark. To build on that a little, John, last game, both teams had 2 fouls in the first quarter. Berlin being such a strong free throw shooting team. A second one off the mark. Berlin traditionally, throughout the season has been carry called on Platt there to give the ball back to Berlin. Just to wrap things up here, 2 fouls from both teams in the first quarter. If they can get Platt to get more fouls and get him in the bonus early, that alone can keep Berlin in this game.
Definitely. And that's a travel violation on Winner Jovan.
Just another mental error by Berlin. Something, unfortunate pattern we've seen as Platt calls a timeout. Looks like one of their players possibly jammed their finger earlier.
Yeah, right now, I would say, just to be, honest with you, Connor, Berlin's coming out pretty flat, Berlin not having the intensity that they need to, and almost thinking that maybe they could do what they normally do and just go ahead in this game. Tonight they don't have Grega, and tonight they don't have DeMeo. 2 players that they don't rely on, but definitely call on in instances like this, because they offer something that they themselves can only bring in certain instances. So they're really struggling to understand where their limits are and what they can do. Man, it's apparent by the score right now and the way they're playing.
I mean, as flat as they have started out this first 6.5 minutes, to be only down 4 just shows how strong their defense has been. They've really, for being so, I wouldn't say physically dominated. They're just taller, just bigger, right? All they've scored is in the post. They can tighten up that post defense. I really think Berlin has a great chance to win. As number 2 hands it off to Jovan, forced to reach to slap her arms, as that is her 4th foul. These fouls being so important. Exactly what you said. Is Berlin calling to penetrate the post here? Capella trouble, gets it up top.
Yeah, Platt's defense not able to come out for those passes, make a risky play, and try to get it in their hands, just because they haven't been punished for it yet. To be honest, they don't need to think about what would happen, what if, because nothing has happened so far. As Jovan has it in the paint, draws the foul. Once again, Berlin, I don't think has scored in the paint yet, Connor, aside from drawing fouls and making their free throw shots.
All their points have been from free throws so far tonight. That is entirely correct. All 3 from Eckroyd. This winner set to shoot 2.
Might have a chance to shake things up.
Textbook free throw.
Ends the drought. The free throw drought for Berlin.
Ends that drought. Gets them back on the foot. A 3-point deficit now. As she sinks them both, 2-point game. Berlin right back into this, picking up that full court. Man.
It's really an unintentional full court press as McGeever is locked on number 1 on Platt, doing a good job. But Platt in general not able to get back, and Berlin just playing that man defense that it ends up being a full court press unintentionally for Platt.
As Platt trying to set something off, some cuts down low.
Number 2 in the paint. What a lethal player in the paint, Connor. I've never seen someone at the Lady Redcoats have McGeever unable to turn that into anything. Looking for a foul. Ball is out of the reach of Platt's hands on that. But like I was saying before, Connor, I've never seen such a dominant player.
I have not in this gym. I have not seen a physical post dominant player such as that.
That's just a good play. She runs the same play, but it works.
It does. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it, John.
That is
if it ain't
true.
broke, don't fix it. She has been a good majority of Platt's points with
Sorry
5
to interrupt you,
seconds
Connor.
left.
We have 3 seconds left in this quarter.
They get her for travel. Just another mental error to give Platt a shot with 2 seconds. Now, they have a lot of court to travel with 2 seconds. I wonder if they're going to pull some magic out for this. McGeever gets it.
Oh! McGeever almost getting a buzzer beater there.
Almost.
First quarter.
Look at him over the backboard.
Would have tied up the game also. But just recapping that first quarter there, Berlin came out flat up until those last 30 seconds when actual stuff began to happen for them. It started with Jovan making her first free throws of the game, and slowly progressing on to that back and forth drive with McGeever looking for a foul, didn't get it. But just in general, Berlin coming out very slow tonight, and need to ramp it up if they want to see anything work for them, because their defense alone isn't holding them, as we could see just by number 2 on Platt doing that just excellent spin move in the paint, which is right now unguardable for Berlin.
Post dominance it's hard to defend when you get somebody as skillful in the post, somebody who really knows their little hooks. They're just like the sky hook. You know what sky hook is? Yeah. One of the most famous post moves of all time. She kind of has something like that going, where she doesn't necessarily turn the body all the way around. She kind of throws it up sideways. It's unguardable. Allison doing a pretty good job only letting it happen on her twice, actually. Maybe it was only once. Berlin just needs to, I don't know if they need to double down the post, maybe switch up to a zone, because we haven't seen too much ball movement other than working it down low. It really seems they only have one ball handler. And she had some pretty good handles, but that seems to be it for Platt. Berlin, I don't know if a zone defense is the answer, but I definitely agree. They do need to tighten up that post defense a little. And,
Definitely.
Close the gap there.
Yeah, that's just their kryptonite. It seems like almost every game, Berlin runs into one challenge with maybe it's a single player, and oftentimes it is. And today it's number 2 on Platt.
Emma drives past her.
I was enjoying the foul on that. I mean, honestly, I thought it was all ball, but maybe that's not my angle to say. Possibly a travel by Kopp. The ref didn't call it clear. Drives the post, draws the foul. Big foul taken there by McGeever. Quickly, just running Platt up to 1 foul away from being in bonus.
That lethal bonus.
Putting
Berlin
Berlin in bonus.
Exactly. It's the first one that rolls out of the hoop. Second one gets the fall.
Big arc.
High arc.
Halkias gets beaten. Kopp only the one in the lane.
As number 3 with a little Euro step around her, Kopp forced to step up. As that's either Kopp's second or third foul. She might have all 3 of Berlin's foul. That's 2. It's her second foul. It's Berlin's third. That's the first one off the mark. Platt still only up by 1 point.
Yeah, Berlin right now just you know, kind of going against what we were saying before, Connor. Whereas we were saying they really can't keep this up, and as Platt drains their second shot, but Berlin really can't keep this up, is what we were saying at this time in the first quarter. Well, Berlin has been saying otherwise. They can just ride off these free throws. As Winter, long shot, drains it!
3! That's Berlin's lead right there, John.
And there it is!
Berlin's lead!
Berlin up by 1, 9-8. It's going to be a travel violation on Platt.
Ford decides to run with the ball in her hands. Don't know what was going through her mind. A little mental error. Forgot to come to a jump stop before that pass. Ultimately, leaves Berlin with the ball with momentum going the way, John.
Berlin throwing it away there. Getting lost in their own momentum that they created.
As Platt drawing this ball back up top, looking to set something up. Number 4 looking at
Platt driving that baseline, couldn't get it.
exactly how his good hands. McGeever saves the dribble. Good skip pass to Halkias.
Right there, Whit. Give it to her. Give it to her.
Double dribble.
Ooh, double dribble.
Just another mental error by Braun. A common theme we're seeing here in the first half so
Yeah,
far.
Berlin putting unnecessary pressure on themselves to make the game faster than it is. I hate to sound hot and cold, just back and forth, but you know, their tempo was slow. Now it's sped up, and it's like they're just doing it to themselves. They're not regulating it. As Kant gets the ball, breaks it up, gives it off to Winner. Winner has an open lane. One woman on her. No.
Draws that big 7th foul out of Platt.
Winter Jovan looked like to have no one in the lane. Number 4 on Platt, quickly picking her up.
Closing
and,
that gap.
Yeah, getting there just in time.
I mean, to build on what you were saying earlier, after this free throw. One second here. She sinks the first. To build on what you were saying earlier, Berlin, all these mental errors, for them to still be up by 2, more or less only on free throws is very impressive and should be a sign that really this is kind of Berlin's game for the taking.
Yeah, I know. If Platt just keeps making these mistakes with their fouls, then it's, you know, by far going to be their biggest thorn in their side.
And she sinks them both 100% from the free throw line from Winner tonight.
Yeah, definitely, Connor. This is going to be a big issue if Platt just continues down this route. Berlin not really scoring any except for that 3. As the ball is now being held up by Halkias. Ooh, it's going to be a travel. But Berlin not really shooting anything besides free throws, but
They don't need to.
they don't need to. They're not making any points in the paint. They made that 3 from Winter Jovan earlier on, but they don't need to. You know, Platt just is saying, here you go. Here's a free 2 shots where we can't guard you, and you have basically complete silence.
As Ellison drives to the post, gets the bucket. Picking up full court again. I'm liking this full court aggressiveness out of Berlin.
Yeah, Halkias now replacing McGeever as that first defender. Shot no good by Platt. Jovan gets the rebound.
Berlin in transition, looking to get another basket out of it. She gets it to Kopp.
Kopp now for 3. Yes! 3 good. Platt calls timeout.
As they go up by 8, you know, the momentum, energy in the gym, you know, is really starting to surge.
Shifted immediately.
You know, these key offensive buckets. It's amazing what some you know, scoring can get you.
Yeah, and just, you know, Berlin having a good base off of those free throws. You know, they just we didn't know in the first quarter how well they were shooting, just because they were getting fouled so often in the paint. You know, once those shots become open, once those fouls eventually rack up for Platt, and they have no choice but to let them go, or face that penalty of having a player sit out, which is what they're close to in some cases. But once those shots happen, Berlin's making them. Berlin's seizing those shots and making sure that they fall.
That's entirely correct. They've really been capitalizing on every opportunity, as you've seen in transition. The last boys game, the boys Redcoats basketball team really had a problem with Middletown's transition offense, and Platt's having the same exact problem on their defense. Berlin's just capitalizing on every offensive drive they've gotten recently. As Platt just got the pass off the time. Winner 1-on-2. They get her for a double dribble.
I personally didn't see it. But did you see it, Connor?
You know, listen to the players. They're so close to the court. We have the pleasure of hearing from the players. They said there was a crossover. It kind of looked like it could hit her hand, but I don't know. I don't know entirely. At the end of the day, it's a Berlin ball as they looking to swing it down back to Emma in the post. Draws another foul.
Ellison just trying to recreate that original shot that she had under the hoop and draws a foul for it, making it grand total of 8 fouls that Platt has to their name in this game.
You know, she drains the first to put them up by 9. They were down at one point. Now really getting this nice run. Second off the mark as Winner almost comes out. Winner does come down with the rebound. Gets it out to Ellison, fighting for the ball. Force it third away. Platt picks it up. was gonna say, as big as Platt is as a whole, Ellison is the tallest player in the court. They can't do anything but foul her. She's just longer and taller.
As long as she just drains those shots in the paint, she's very unstoppable. Ball getting knocked around between both teams now. Platt having it in their corner, kicks it up to their top.
As Liv Helkia steps up the top of the key now. Berlin not backing up at all.
You can see Ellison there trying to reach over and get that ball. Not able to.
Dude, showing off some fancy handles. The fadeaway, unable to fall, as Emma almost knocks it out of Winner's hands. Gets it to McGeever. McGeever in transition.
McGeever sees Halkias in the corner. She will not take her, goes straight to the hoop. Draws the foul, but you can see the vision there. McGeever deciding to transition over to her left and go for the basket instead of trying to drain the three.
It kind of seems like we're on Groundhog Day here, John. Brown gets a rebound, runs up the floor, gets fouled, shoot two, rinse and repeat. As I believe
now we have a mass break.
I think they're on like a 12-0 run or something like that. I think they were down 8-5 last. I think that's the run they're on in this quarter, really.
Yeah, Berlin having a lot of shots that are unanswered by Platt right now. Specifically, Ellison's shots under the hoop. Not unable to be answered with the legal way right now. They're resorting to just silly fouls, honestly. The way that Platt could be playing right now, just with their size. Ellison still being taller, but definitely able to be stopped, and Platt hasn't found that yet. But in general, Berlin playing a phenomenal game, night and day from their first quarter appearance.
Exactly, just a night and day. Came out flat in the first quarter. The exact opposite. Came out, fizzy, one might say. That little energy in them at the second quarter. And to build on what you're saying about those silly fouls, just the Platt's coach is calling for them to put their hands straight up. Really, that is how Platt will beat Berlin if they don't continue to foul them. Because as we saw, Berlin had I wouldn't say no offense because they were getting the points though, but from besides the free throw, didn't really have much of an offense that first quarter. If Platt just puts their hands straight up to try and play defense like that and not foul, Platt could be back into this. Berlin just needs to, kind of put the pedal to the metal here, not let off. Look to go up large at halftime. Is Ellison looking to lengthen the lead?
It's going to be McGeever.
They're McGeever, sorry. I couldn't see. I have number one in my way here. I couldn't remember. I just saw somebody tall step up to the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, common mistake.
Yeah, it's a common commentary mistake. Ellison racing, gets the rebound, throws it away though. Platt ends up with the ball, but
McGeever picking her up beyond half court.
Yeah, Berlin clearly showing off that they are confident in their one-on-one defense with Halkias and McGeever tonight.
I think it's important to note here that Platt has checked out number 2.
Halkias interception, both hands on that ball. She could go for the shot.
Get her for a travel.
Goes for a travel. Really? That's what.
I mean,
loses her footing, I guess, but couldn't tell from here.
That's how ACLs are torn right there.
Yeah,
the way
you
she
don't want to
went
think
down.
about that.
That's the last thing you want on your last game of the regular season, but luckily she's okay. Always in travel as Berlin is still up 10 with 3:35 left.
Knock wood. Honorary knocking of the wood.
Of course.
For Halkias on that one. McGeever lasered. Falls out of bounds, ends up going Berlin's way.
So the freshman Ellison, we're in her name a lot here tonight. She's just doing an outstanding job. And really, the whole Lady Redcoats team has really picked it up in the second quarter. And her feeds it down low at her again.
Whoa! Ellison, no angle on that.
There
was no angle.
You got to flex on him after that one.
Jeez.
That's McGeever running backwards faster than Platt's number 1. He's able to dribble his forwards up the court. Showing her speed there.
Racing back, trying to get on defense.
Must run in the McGeever blood, John.
Yeah, no comment on that, kind.
As Platt looking to drive. Good block out of Halkias. McGeever now running the court.
McGeever sees Ellison. Ellison breaks away. Gives it off to Platt. Platt interception. McGeever slow to get up. Platt not pushing. Platt's up one defender, not pushing. 3 from Platt. One of their first up tonight.
Oh. trying to do a little too much. Berlin, but still up 12. Just kind of throwing the ball away. As Platt.
Very sloppy on both teams there. I don't know what was going on. And again, sloppy. Berlin throwing the ball away. Ellison recovering
Comes up with a big steal.
Ellison being a safety net right now. Ellison could go travel. Yeah, sloppy by both teams right there. Just, Platt being careless, not really. Well, let's start Berlin being careless, not thinking about who they're throwing into.
Being careless, just showing that. Hoping to see that coming pattern went away. Started to come back by both teams. As we saw Ellison just trying to do too much too quick.
Definitely.
Go build on what you were talking about earlier about the whole, changing from slow to quick. They're doing it themselves.
Yeah, Berlin's very inconsistent right now. That's really the only thing I can think of.
I mean, with this inconsistency, I can't speak, to be up by 10 is they almost got Platt there with the little 3-second violation.
One, creating space, really good. Oh my God.
Good shot.
Number 1 on Platt,
Good
creating
step
space, dribbles back. Halkias nowhere to be found on that.
I mean, that's an almost undefendable shot. You had your momentum going to one way. To get a winner.
Jovan looks to answer, and she will. With the 2 this time.
Answers it. Step in from where she hit that first shot, but she's really showing consistency from the top of the key this game. As McGeever fighting for that ball, gets it back, gets it out to Kopp. Strong defense out of McGeever. But they have a 3-on-2 now. Bounce it to Lindsay.
Winner shot again. Looks like it's going to be off. It is.
Just off the mark.
Echo gets the ball. Kopp, free shot. She will get it.
Layup. Standing him 3 points, Platt.
Yeah, as we pass the 1-minute mark, 50 seconds remaining. Berlin up by 11. You can see Platt trying to push Berlin's defenders into each other, maybe get a natural pick off of both of them.
As Kopp not backing down, gets her hand in there for a jump ball. That is a little confusion here. Oh, is it Platt? Platt's ball. Platt's ball. I can't remember who got the last one.
Yeah. It's been a lot of them these games, so I don't blame you, Connor.
Yeah, a very physical game between the two teams. Berlin not wanting anything inside. Big block by Eckert.
Acro doing a good job blocking there, but then immediately almost getting it taken out of her hands.
Luckily she hung on though to get a jump ball.
The score might be 11-point gap, but both of these teams are playing very equal right now, and by equal I mean the same mistakes.
Same mistakes. Maybe not the positives are the same, but the negatives are definitely both there.
Right.
You can't just focus on the negatives though, John.
No, you can't, because Berlin right now is doing a much better job than they were before shooting. But the thing is, they're not able to get the ball into shooting position as Platt only has Jovan to pass.
Oh, Berlin. Not liking that call. I'm not liking it either, John. It looked like she had both feet set, arms straight up. They get her for a block. Just love to see that in a player who, I actually had an 8th grade coach, Mr. Pepe. I don't know if you remember him. He used to offer us shakes if we stood and took a charge in a game.
Really?
I kid you not, a McDonald's shake.
Really? Was it worth it?
I mean, I didn't take a charge, so no.
Okay.
It's just,
it's all about the message. It's all
about coaches love to see that in a player. Just willing to put their body on the line for the ball. As she sank the first one, 10 points, 8.8 seconds.
Platt drained the first one, unable to drain the second. Ekro sees McGeever, 3 seconds left. Ekro has a shot. Nope.
Buzzer beater off the mark. Doesn't really matter as Berlin is still up by 10, 24-14. Very impressed by them in the second quarter. What was the main thing they changed that you liked the most, Sean?
Just their tempo.
Tempo?
We talk about how they're inconsistent right now, but their tempo was extremely high compared to the first quarter. They decided to, play faster and look for quicker passes and quicker shots, but with that came more mistakes. They had a lot of double dribbles, travels, passes that just went out of bounds, or passes that went to the other team, and they were just unable to control themselves with that tempo. They just had to dial it back, and then at one point they dialed it back too much, and it kind of slowed down their performance. And then Platt began on their short run late on in that second quarter, but just in general, I think Berlin's tempo was just phenomenal as compared to the first.
I agree entirely. Their tempo has got to be perfectly balanced, as all good things are, John. When they found that balance, they were really unstoppable, as we saw them go on a massive run to put them up by 10. They were down, I think it was a 3, I think it was 5 possibly?
I'd be about 5, yeah.
5-5 in this first quarter, now be up 10 at the end of the second. It's really just an impressive turnaround from Berlin. They started hitting shots from not just the free throw, which they really needed to start doing. We saw it from Jovan, Ellison in the post, just really a lot of Berlin offense just stepping things up. And you can't forget about, McGeever and Halkias on defense stepping up, making huge steals, showing up their quickness, not letting their ball handler. You gotta give props to number 1 on Platt. They have to respect their handles. As we saw, there's just a step back right there. You can't get too over your head. She does have quick, good handles, but Berlin's really doing a good job responding to it.
Yeah, definitely. And also got to point out number 2 on Platt doing just a phenomenal job at working the paint with both Jovan and Ellison, being able to get those shots off and create space. But just like basically what I agree with you said, Connor. Berlin doing a great job with their defense and offense, and relatively aside from the things that we mentioned. But I really think that just comes with their tempo. It's there. The shots are there. The ability to make threes like Jovan did is there. It's just making sure that either the tempo's in your direction and you're able to create space off of that. And the way you create space is making the other team unbalanced. When the other team isn't ready for you and ready for your movements, then you have an easier time getting those shots off and creating space.
That's entirely correct. To build that a little more, when you get them unbalanced, you get them to start fouling more. And as you saw, number 2 was so dominant in that first quarter.
Yep.
She couldn't really do much as she was in foul trouble in the second quarter. And one of their key post players, her and number 3, both racking up fouls in the first half. They're 2 main dominant post players. Berlin just doing an excellent job. You gotta give them props to getting in and drawing those fouls, not backing down.
Yeah.
From this very physical Platt team, drawing these fouls. Those fouls being drawn are the reason that they're up 10.
Yeah, those fouls helped them out early on in the game when they weren't making or didn't have a chance to make those shots. Those fouls were like their building blocks. It helped them create their shot, create their space, and it gave them a chance to stay in the game. And then when time came, when they had their chance, they took it and led us to where we are now.
That is entirely correct. Berlin's building blocks was Platt's kryptonite in their fouls. Platt needs to tidy that up, and they're right back into this half as we are now going to go for a quick little break here with 5:15 left in the half. Don't go anywhere. We will be back with this exciting tooth and claw. Wow, yeah.
Tooth and claw sounds a little better.
Sounds a little better. Yeah, this is a close game. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
Yep.
Welcome back, folks. After an exciting second quarter, Berlin up by 10, looking to lengthen this lead. John, what do you think they need to work on? Get off on a hot streak.
Yeah, I think they need to pick up their tempo like they were halfway through the, well, not halfway, in the beginning of the second quarter. Something that made the second quarter much better than the first quarter was the up in tempo from Berlin, which in case made Platt up their tempo, made this game a lot more interesting and a lot more fun to watch. Both teams, though, need to come out with more energy, and specifically on Berlin's side, they need to keep picking up those fouls, because right now we start with 0-0 fouls for both teams. Berlin needs to get back that bonus, because that's a huge benefit for them that they can use very, very strategically. Also, their defense, they need to control the paint, and they need to control it very, very strongly if they want to hold this lead.
That's all beautiful points made, John. All beautiful as Platt. Now, on offense, as Winner stepping up in the paint, Halkias throws it out to Ellison. McGeever in a 3-on-1 here. Ellison off the mark as Winner almost came down with that, almost able to rip it out of number 1 Alcantara from Platt. Number 1 Alcantara. Alcantara really playing a solid game so far. Got to give her some props.
Yeah, doing a phenomenal job. As Jovan has an open shot, drains it.
Well, why are they leaving her open anymore, John?
I don't know. I think that was a mistake. There wasn't any strategic thought on that one, but Winner Jovan shooting from the elbow drains it.
Platt really playing checkers while Berlin's playing chess. Specifically, Jovan playing chess.
Halkias getting off number 3 on Platt. Alcantara has it in the lane, dips it down to the paint. Shot no good. Berlin scrambling to even get Kopp, goes to the floor hard. Thankfully, she's back on her feet. But Kopp there doing a good job at sealing the lane, saving Berlin from that shot. Just completely left open as Berlin clumped down under the hoop, and the pass being kicked out to the top. Kopp stepping in that lane, trying that foul, but doing her job. First shot no good for Platt.
2 west from Platt, missing that first one. The second one hits every single spot of the rim before falling in.
Kopp now checking in, showing that she is all set.
So Berlin's still up 11. Just about 1 minute taken off from this third quarter. Berlin really looking to, lengthen this lead as McGeever pushes the ball up the floor. Gets it up top to Jovan.
Yeah, ball getting moved around very well by Berlin. But they're not venturing down, Connor, into the baseline at all. As Ellison might. But no, ends up back up top. Kopp looking to go for a run. She will. Finds the lane.
Little finger roll, walked right down the lane. Contested layup, able to make it fall. It's been blown up by 13.
Berlin playing high up on defense, leaving those lanes open.
Emma doing a great job on defense. Say that number 2 walked right around her.
Yeah, number 2. A phenomenal game tonight, like we said at halftime. Just being able to make those shots. That's West on Platt.
They're just giving Winner a lane as Platt had a hand on it. See what kind of defense breaker Berlin has here. I wonder if they're going to try and get a quick 3.
I mean, it'd be uncharacteristic of them, but they will.
McGeever. Off the mark.
Cop unable to get that rebound. Platt, number 2, West, coming down the court.
Showing off some handles of her own, running the court.
See Ellison redirecting her. Long three!
Three from Bailey.
Platt with the long 3. Came out of nowhere.
Answering Berlin's hot second quarter really well so far as Emma unable to make the the free throw jumper.
Yeah, that shot was blind, you know, and Ellison just wanted, I guess, to experiment and take it. Tipped off of Jovan's hands. It's going to stay Platt ball.
Platt has nowhere to go with it. I lied. They had the left block to go with it. Able to get the layup. Good pass in by number 1.
Jovan throwing it down. Intercepted by West on Platt. Ellison.
Berlin is starting to go down a path that we don't really like to see, making some mental errors that they cleaned up in the second quarter.
Very true. Now going into their 3rd mass break of the game.
I believe it was a timeout, actually.
Was it
Coach
timeout?
King. Coach King.
Oh. You know, it's just around that time for a mass break.
It is around that time.
Not 4:47 left in the 3rd quarter, but Berlin just in general going down that path, like you said, but understanding that it's not to the same extent. You know, Berlin's just trying to maybe keep up that tempo and making those mistakes, like I said before, but just in general, Berlin playing a solid game, playing their game, knowing where their limits are, and knowing where they can really, you know, stretch their wings and succeed at. Really those lanes that Berlin has always been good at finding, and the reason why is because they've had to learn to adapt. They haven't been a 3-point shooter. They've never been known as a 3-point shooting team, and so by being tough, they know that they can take these lanes, and they have every game, and when it doesn't work out for them, they lose. Finding the lane in this game was key for them, and that's part of the reason why they took this lead, and that's part of the reason why they're holding the lead. Obviously, you saw Kopp there finding that lane and taking it, but still, that long shot, Jovan holding on to that mid-range shot through the elbow early on in the 3rd. Just Berlin doing a very good job on offense right now. Just needs to keep it up on defense.
That's entirely correct. Looking to see what Berlin chalked up there during that little timeout call.
Yeah, Alcantara, gotta say, moves around the court faster than anyone else right now, while McGeever shadowing her on defense.
To get it out to number 3, Berlin has to respect the shot as she drained her first 3 of the night.
Alcantara, long 3.
Off the mark as Ellison grabs the rebound.
Halkias gives it out to Kopp.
Unable to make a fuss. Ooh, it looked like Halkias had all ball from here. Could have been a different view from the court, probably was, but that is Berlin's 3rd foul. They've already fouled just as many times as they did in that entire first half.
Yeah, Berlin stacking up the fouls quickly in this 3rd quarter. 4 minutes remaining, but mass break now. Now we have a mass break, but Platt doing a good job at holding off fouling just in general, knowing that they most likely are in foul trouble, you know, or maybe they've just been getting lucky. Couldn't tell you, Connor, but just Platt staying out of trouble right now with fouls, leaving it up to Berlin to make those mistakes. Berlin holding only a 6-point lead.
I would say Platt has definitely tightened up their defense. As we saw, a ball they most likely would have grappled at over Ellison. They stood with their hands up. They knew they had it lost. Instead of possibly fouling Ellison there and picking up a foul. It's just stuff like that. Platt has made some considerable changes in this half at the halftime. Their defense is overall tightened up, and their offense, they're playing quick. They're showing that a lot more people have handles on that team than number 1, number 2 showing her handles off, number 3 showing that they can move, they can get ball movement going. Just doing it. Platt has stepped up, elevated their game. Berlin just needs to answer. Hopefully that mask break was enough time for them
to recoup and get some energy back.
Maybe they had some oxygen depletion in the brain, possibly.
The word's hypoxia.
Hypoxia. Did Mr. Pirates teach you that word, John? Or is that right?
Actually, he did.
He did.
Great big
mentor.
shout out to Berlin's co-lead assistant coach, Mr. Pyrus.
As good of a teacher as he's a coach. I can only hope.
And I can attest.
You can attest. Wow, look to get a shot off. Good defense by Joven. Hands straight up.
Yeah, Berlin playing a good defense all around, not just by Winter Joven, but also by Riley Kopp on that.
Good bounce.
Being able to get that rebound and locking down that shot. Ellison
playing a little too strong off the backboard. Berlin has switched to his own defense to deal with this post play.
Long shot by Platt. Berlin there to get it.
McGeever.
Carry violation on McGeever. Berlin disagreeing. But from what I could see right here, couldn't really tell. Berlin there looking for the ball to get up top. That's their key part of their offense, as we've seen so far tonight. Berlin always driving for not the corner, not the top of the key, not even driving for the hoop when they come down the court. They're driving for that elbow, and they're trying to base everything off of whether it's on the left side or the right side of the elbow and how their offense is going to pan out based on that.
Kopp almost swatting it out.
Yeah, Kopp's got to watch her hands. If she made contact there, that's an easy foul.
She does have 3 fouls on her already. Trying to drive, nothing there. Berlin, pretty solid defensive stand there. It's a solid defense overall. I really think the zone defense was a great switch for them. Number 2 in the paint was really their problem. I mean, they've been hitting threes, but they haven't really shown that Berlin needs to totally respect it yet.
I'd agree to that. Good ball movement.
A little long from Halkias. Is Ellison able to grab it?
Ellison able to hold on to that dribble. Kopp, long shot. Halkias able to get a shot up, draws the foul.
Draws the foul. Good thing happens when you get the ball in the post. Platt, really, they don't really put their hands up yet. That's not something you switch just at a halftime. Their instinct is to try and swat the ball out, which is it's a solid instinct. It makes for some satisfying blocks. Halkias unfortunately off the mark on the first one. That slap the ball defense that they're playing, as we've seen tonight, it's led to a lot of free throws for Berlin.
Second one, no good.
Second one. Rolling around the rim. A lot of movement from Platt on offense. Good hands by Halkias to swat that out. Saw the play from a mile away.
Yeah, able to get her hand in the lane there and cut up the ball. Platt driving the baseline. Number 2, always able to make something happen. This time, no. She gets her own rebound, puts it back up. No. Ellison with the rebound, gives it off to McGeever. McGeever now looking for the corner to Kopp. Kopp drives to the hoop, draws the foul.
Takes another hard foul. McGeever ran that ball up 2 on 5. Saw Kopp. She played a great, amazing physical game tonight, drawing a ton of fouls.
Yeah, doing everything she can right now for the Lady Redcoats as we just pass a minute left in the third. 56 seconds remaining. First shot, no good for Cobb.
No good. Berlin still up 6, looking to make it 7.
Yeah, but they've been really stale, holding on to the 6. Platt hasn't progressed, but Berlin should definitely be progressing as they missed that second shot. Berlin had so many opportunities playing sloppy offense, and it's being covered up by their lead.
I mean, it's a good sign, though, that Berlin is still in the lead, even playing this slot.
Right.
It's a good sign for Berlin as number 3 from Platt unloads one. Allison. That is 3 free throws. Probably an unnecessary foul there. She was closing out on her real fast. Number 3, one of Platt's better shooters will be shooting 3 free throws. They look to really close the gap on this Berlin lead. First one's off the mark. Finds the second. Berlin now only up 5. Number 2, almost able to get around Halkias for that rebound. The ball was just a little flurry down there, off her leg. Berlin ultimately ends up with it. Lucky Platt didn't get that.
Yeah, Berlin there ending up with the ball, only losing a point. It's that little interaction. McGeever not able to get anything, but it will stay Berlin's side. McGeever charging through the paint there, trying to get a quick layup. Recover from that 1 point that they lost to Platt. 30 seconds remaining. McGeever finds Kopp in the corner. Ellison now.
As she did not have her feet set, walking into Ellison, drew another foul. It doesn't really matter if you have your arms straight up, John, if you don't keep your feet set, and that is the reason she had a blocking foul.
That is true.
She is in foul trouble, if my memory serves me correct already.
McGeever now with the ball. 20 seconds remaining. Kopp, long shot, gets it.
Gets it to fall.
Sorry, it's gonna be 2, not 3.
As Berlin now has a 7-point lead.
McGeever trying to hold on to Alcantara. Alcantara wants that shot, or wants one of her teammates to get the shot. Long shot by number 3. No good. It's going to end 30-23 as we enter the fourth quarter. Berlin holds the lead by 7. Connor, what did you see there that was different than the second? It felt like it played out a lot like the second, but obviously a lot of stuff changed up there for Berlin and Platt.
I'd say it was more of a mashup of the first half as a whole. You had some of the good from the second quarter and some of the bad from the first. As you said, they came out a little stale. They came out fine, I'd say. Just Platt came out with it at a new level. You know, their energy was up. They came out with a new offense that Berlin hadn't really seen. Berlin responded. You know, they had to play the zone, so number 2 couldn't keep dominating them down to the post. Berlin did do a good job adjusting, which is why they're still up by 7. But I mean, they brought that kind of staleness, that flatness from the first quarter. From the second quarter, they brought, at the end especially, they brought their ability to drive and not just shoot free throws as well. Kopp drain that long shot as time was coming down to the 15-second mark or so. I like seeing that out of Berlin. I think they need to do more of that in this fourth and final quarter if they want to hold on to this 7-point lead and ultimately win.
Definitely agree with that. We'll see how Platt looks to recover from that 7-point deficit and what Berlin's going to do just in general to hold on and extend this lead.
One thing that's important to note here is time wound down between the quarters. Both teams didn't run out. As we saw in the boys' game, both teams got their first delay of game.
You got it. Good call. Thank you.
Yep, as both teams get the first delay of game. If either team gets a delay of game, that's a technical. It's a technical foul. So could have almost played a key role in the boys' game. Wonder if that will affect this game at all.
Definitely. Now watch 21 come in from that opposite side. Berlin not defending, not seeing from that backside, that back door, and in 21 being able to fill that role. As Ellison goes, McGeever trying to get that rebound. Ooh. It's gonna be Platt's ball.
Platt's ball, as there's a tussle there between McGeever and number 2 on Platt. Both teams playing super physically. They're really leaving it all on the line for this last regular season game.
Yeah, Platt diminishing the lead to only 5 points now, making it close. Berlin got to pull away if they want to be safely in the clear. Now wait for with 21 now in her same position. Kopp understanding that, believing too that space. Now open shot backside, no good. Number 2 gets it, free lane. She's gonna capitalize on that, making it only a 3-point game now for Platt. McGeever looking to answer. Jovan looking to drive, passes it off to Halkias, ball's on the ground.
As she had nowhere to go. As Berlin able to maintain possession there.
Yeah, couldn't see what really happened there just because of how much was on the floor. Jovan gets the inbound.
Berlin got to tighten up their game here at the start of the fourth. Really got to play more like it's the second quarter. Is Jovan for 3.
Long shot. No one there to make the rebound.
Off the mark. That's one thing Platt really has been dominating so far in this quarter is rebounds. That's why they've had 4 unanswered points right off the bat.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it might be the way that they're, as number 2 in the paint, they're going to make it a 1-point game for Platt. Platt coming out hard in this last quarter.
Platt has a very good zone breaking offense as McGeever drives the floor.
Platt looking for a call, unable to get it.
As number 2 picks up the 5th and final foul. She's out of this game.
Platt now subbing in number 20 for number 2.
West, such a key player in their offense, really has been dominating the post. Wonder if Berlin's not going to switch back to a man because they don't really have to worry about the post as much.
Yeah, that's a huge asset that Platt just utilized to get to this point as McGeever shoots her first, makes it,
Drains it.
But Platt, you know, I don't want to say rely on, but heavily used the ability that number 2 provided in the paint.
It was a nice contrast as McGeever sinks a second between having to respect number 3 and 1 outside to give number 2 that open lane.
McGeever running the full distance with Alcantara. Alcantara shoots. It's going to go long.
Good defense by McGeever.
Sees Ellison. No.
Off the mark. Fast place. Quickest 10 seconds of the game, John.
Just back and forth that quick. Both teams, though, showing that they're getting tired and chances are the pace will slow down. Kopp getting a hand on that ball. Platt entering their offense, as you can see here. Now Berlin understanding it's really going to come down to Kopp, knowing where the back door is. And now they're still in man. They're in man.
They
now.
switch back to man.
Never mind.
Man is Berlin's better defense, I'd say, and with no threat of number 2 in the post, this is the good choice.
It's gonna be a jump. No, it's gonna be a timeout. Platt. Now, Connor, you could just see there that with 2 out of the game makes a huge difference. One player is making all the difference for this Platt team right now, and as you can see, Berlin entering that man. That offense before was just so good for Platt because Berlin's zone was just inconsiderate of that backside elbow shot that Platt had, and you could see from 23 early on in the fourth, made a quick shot off of it, and then and unable to make it a second time, but also got another shot off. The thing is that was interesting with that offense was it never really utilized 2 in the paint. West, like you were saying, just such a lethal player in the paint, never really utilized it. More of went off the fact that maybe West would be open down below running that baseline, and which made it so deadly for Platt. Berlin, though, now running a man, that offense doesn't work. It's going to be interesting to see what Platt does to change up their game and make themselves more viable on offense.
I think the Bill, just very briefly off what you said, the whole reason Berlin switched to his own defense there was because of West. They were forced to run that defense because of West. So she did her job. That offense wasn't designed for her. It was designed to utilize other teammates.
But it just shows how good she is at being versatile.
But with her out of the game, Berlin not forced to play his own as Halkias running the full court.
No one in her way. Halkias drawing that foul
as Alcantara thought she had a block. Refs calling a shooting foul on that. Halkias will be shooting too.
First shot, no good for Halkias, but basing each team's performance on how many fouls they have really stays true in this game. Platt holding 5 fouls as Halkias makes her second shot. Platt holding 5 fouls, Berlin holding only 4, and Platt being the one who's at a disadvantage halfway through this final quarter of the game.
Well, Berlin picked up 3 quick fouls last quarter. For them to only have picked up 1 since then really shows how much they've cleaned up their game.
And just the attention that they've brought as winner. Now, one-on-one basically with number 13. Ball on the ground. Kopp now having 4 fouls on her. 4:21 left in the game. Berlin calls a timeout, trying to figure out what they're going to do with that whole issue. But just in general, they're Kopp playing a physical game and picks up that foul, something that the entire Platt team has done, which led number 2 to be out of the game. But you gotta wonder, Connor, how many of these fouls are legit, how many of them are not.
Well,
it's maybe because once the game progresses, once more people draw them, the officials might loosen up. Oftentimes in games, with this game not so much, but just going off of past experience.
Well, I wouldn't say they're NBA officials, otherwise they would be here. But at the same time,
Right.
They're not. I mean, they are getting paid to do this. They know what they're doing a little.
Right, yeah. I mean, I would agree with that. Kopp staying in the game, running the risk of being fouled out, but
reassuring her coach though that she will not get that 5th, or she will be in the same position that number 2 is. Both 2 key players.
Allison able to get a hand on that. Ball goes out of bounds. Gonna stay Platt ball. Sophomore Belizzi now subbing in for Kopp.
Emma, take 21.
Ball dish back to number 3. Number 3 going straight to the hoop, draws the foul. Not sure who it's on.
I think they're gonna call it on Belizzi,
It will be on Belizzi.
who had her hand straight up. But again, there's 2 parts to taking a charge. You have to have your feet set and arms up. feet weren't totally set. And that is Berlin's 6th foul.
First shot drained for Platt. Now making it a 3-point game.
I think that's number 3, Bailey. Really stepping up for Platt from just showing a range. So McGeever steps up, not backing down, forces her to the right.
It's going to be a travel on number 13. Saw that. 13 on Platt, really trying to get in past Jovan.
As
It's going to be a mass break, final mass break
the
of the game.
final mass break of the regular season, Johnny. Finally make that call.
You know, it's a sigh of relief that we made it this far, Connor. You know, in the craziest season that we've had probably ever.
Very true. Very true.
You know, it's in a world that we now have mass breaks. That season is over. We've pieced together a pretty strong string of games that have been interesting for both the boys and girls teams, and have overall made it very fun. First year that we've been doing this production of these games, so
I'm having a blast. I don't know about you.
It is a good time. This might be our very last production for basketball in general, as we await the news whether the boys will be home or away. Obviously, if they're home, we'll be back once again. But
You're stuck with us again.
but yeah, as we wind down for this last game, mass break now coming to an end. I'd like to thank you for watching us throughout this whole season, and we hope you'll join them next season, as Connor and I will be gone by then.
You know, passing off the tour show. But if you always like what you see, you know, there's a subscribe button possibly that they could hit to watch that. You know,
Definitely should hit the subscribe button.
As Platt now in a full court press.
Kopp able to progress up the court rather quickly. No one stopping her. Jovan has a lane. Early
floater.
Nope.
Off the mark. Hauke is fighting for the ball down low. Not giving in as Berlin still holding a 3-point lead. 3:40 is the time left. McGeever got a hand on it as number 21, Campbell, I believe. Nothing to do but move her feet as she tries to dribble. Force the dribbles, really.
Yeah.
Berlin gets that ball back. They really need to start capitalizing on these offensive possessions if they want to win this game. McGeever just daring her to step up.
Yeah, you can see Platt playing so high. McGeever gonna draws the foul. I was gonna say McGeever gonna maybe do an early floater, but no, she's gonna try to take it all the way for a layup. Gets that foul called, making it an even 6 fouls for Platt and 6 fouls for Berlin.
One more foul by either team, and their opponent will be in the 1-on-1. So here, Coach King wanting Berlin to slow it down on offense, force Platt to play their game. Dishes it out to Kopp to Haukius.
Platt getting in there for that jump ball. Connor, I have to correct one of our mistakes. We called this a little too early. We have one more game this Friday.
Oh, lovely to hear.
And that will be for the girls team.
Oh,
but
amazing.
Not sure if we'll be able to broadcast that yet. Still might be our goodbye.
It might be, but you know, we still got 2:50 left in this game here, John. Very close. Tooth
and nail fight right now.
Tooth and nail, tooth and claw. Either one, they both sound good.
Yeah, they really do. Now Berlin has obviously the position on the court. There's no reason why they shouldn't be holding on to this ball, drawing those fouls, as now number 4 on Platt subs in. It's going to be for number 21.
They were able to burn a whole minute off the clock there with nothing happening. It was
very good for Berlin. Holding on to that ball, being able to keep it contained and controlled.
First one's good. Textbook from Winter as she's showing, she's reinforcing that dominant Berlin free throw shooting. Looking to make it a 5-point game. They're already up pretty much 2 baskets. Sinks the second to put Berlin up by 5.
Platt breaking that full court press rather easily.
As McGeever picking up number 1.
McGeever pinning Platt into the corner. Ellising picking up that ball rather easily. She's holding it up as Berlin gets over the line.
Ooh, almost a backcourt violation. 2:12 left. Berlin up by 5.
Just a mistake there in Berlin's offense on the way they were directing it.
Lucky that wasn't called a backcourt violation. 2:12 left. Berlin up 5. John, what do you think is the key component to Berlin holding on to their lead and winning?
Right now, Berlin just needs to hold on to the ball. As long as they just prevent Platt from scoring at all, and they keep being able to hold the ball so high on the court, what you might see is Berlin trying to dish it down low, and looks like they might run the baseline, but chances are they're not. They're going to pass it right back up, because as long as they can keep basically Platt guessing and having them not know exactly where they're going to go, the better chance they're going to have of holding onto that ball. But I don't see Berlin right now running anything risky.
And Berlin setting up their press break on the other half of the court, showing that they're not taking any risks.
And you can see Jovan now holding up the ball intentionally, holding her dribble as she gives it off to McGeever. McGeever able to dribble out of it. You can see Berlin clumping themselves so close together. Jovan now creating space.
Berlin doing a great job of just working the ball in, a little in and out. And someone's always there when she needs it, as Halki is able to get there, as we have already burned 30 seconds according to what was left of the game.
Berlin right now, what they have to do is they have to stay, they want to help each other out, but they have to stay far apart. The second you start bringing each other closer, as I think they run into their last time out of the game, as soon as you start rubbing teammates closer like that, and you have McGeever running past Halkias or handing it off in that manner, that's when you begin to run into jump balls, and that's what Berlin doesn't need. If the possession is going to change, they'd want it to be over a jump ball or where the ball is dead. They wouldn't want it to be off a fast break, but then again, you can't risk it, a fast break right there at half court. It could be a quick, easy layup for Platt, and don't want to leave it in their hands for this game. Then again, if you're Platt right now, though, you're trying to play that in between. So you're trying to understand where Berlin's going to go next with their passes, and at this point, understanding where they're going to telegraph. You want to pick up on that and anticipate as much as you can. Where normally you wouldn't. Where normally you'd want to stay home on your man.
Yep.
In this case, you're really trying to reach out.
Yeah, but Platt can't do too much, seeing as Berlin's already in the bonus. They're shooting.
That is right.
Platt really, they can't get too aggressive. Berlin probably is just gonna look to dribble the clock out. As they get it into Winter over half court. Platt already doubling her.
Yeah, that's what Platt needs more of. Jovan now looking for help.
Gets it to McGeever. McGeever spins, sees Emma. Ooh, off the floor. McGeever gets the rebound. Gets it out to Kopp. As Platt had nowhere to go, but Platt really is playing on their heels right now. I want to say they're laying over and dying, but they have no answer to this. Berlin just dribble in, pass out, dribble in, pass out.
Platt right now definitely still in this game in a sense. There's a minute 18 left. They could easily still, drain that 3 and that 2 or whatever they would need to tie up this game. McGeever misses her first shot. Platt now holding on to that possibility.
Berlin really can't afford to foul.
What Platt's going to do right now, Connor, I think, is they don't have that much time. Now we're just entering sub 1 minute. You're going to have to make these quick shots, which is what their bench is calling them for, but they're not going to take these long shots. I think they're going to go for a quick layup like that. That's going to be a foul on Halkias. That's what Platt wants. Now they're under the hoop. Now they have a chance to set up a play. No, now they're shooting. Sorry, Platt's in the bonus too, Connor.
Say Brown really couldn't afford to foul. Don't know what that call was on. I'm just baffled here. But
yeah, I couldn't.
At the end of the day, Platt's shooting too. It's all that really matters out of that.
First shot made, making this a 4-point game.
Elliston and Winter really have to box out those people lining up in the middle. I get this board. As she drains a second, Platt called a quick timeout. Probably, if I had to guess, to set up a full court press. I don't know if they're going to try and switch off this man full court press that they've been running. Berlin has been breaking it with ease this entire game.
Definitely. Right now, Platt, Berlin has a spot for a layup. That's all they can really afford right now. A 3 with a full court press really gives them no option.
Yeah.
They don't even want. What Berlin's trying to do right now is they're going to try to shove it down the court as quick as they can.
Yep.
Get it into their handlers' positions like McGeever's hands and Halkias and Jovan's hands, and just hold on to it the best they can. The longer it takes to get into that position, the better. But Berlin is just aiming for that right now. They understand there's going to be a full court press, and they know what that means for them as an offense trying to bring the ball down the court. But just in general, Berlin is going to definitely be sweating for these next 55 seconds.
Yep. Berlin, Platt. It seems Berlin has broken their full court press with ease. I wonder if they're going to go out with a zone. My personal favorite press is a 2-2-1. Very hard to break. Well, once it's broken, you're kind of done for. But
that is true.
Very hard to break as Platt opts for a man press. We've seen Berlin break this time and time again. I wonder what they've changed.
Yeah, maybe sticking to the roots. McGeever has it now being cut off.
Gets it to Jovan. They got to get the ball over the court.
Jovan will get
able to get it over in time as
now Berlin is in their position that they want to be in, putting the ball into the middle of the court.
Once they get it, Jovan. Time winding down. 37 seconds left.
Trying to waste time.
As Platt really having to jump out at the ball. That was a good foul, I'd say, by Platt. Forced Berlin to make their shots. Now, we've seen McGeever pretty dominant, pretty decently dominant, at least, from the free throw with her high arcing free throw shot, finding the net most times. She will be shooting only 1-1 still, as that was Platt's 9th foul. Was number 1 was just checked out of the game. I don't know if they picked up her 5th. I didn't really catch it was
that
happening
probably was
there.
her 5th foul of the game.
As another key player for Platt. As McGeever
makes her first.
That high arcing shot, getting the bounce.
Indiana out of bounds. Indiana, right here. Make sure you take it out.
Drains her second shot, giving Berlin that insurance with 30 seconds remaining. Berlin now have that safety net. Platt
drains the 2.
But now down by 3 with 19 seconds remaining.
20
McGeever just going to
seconds
hold
left.
it up as best as she can.
Platt had to follow there because they're down 3. Claire McGeever will be shooting 2 here. 12 seconds left. Looking to put him up back by 5, at least 4. If she hits at least one of these, Berlin is in a pretty decent shape to win the game.
Yes. I don't know. I can't say no.
Misses the first. Leaving this still a 3-point game. Now could make it a 4-point game, which puts Platt in a really hard position with only 11 seconds.
Drains the second, putting Platt in an unfortunate position.
Clock winds down. Platt able.
Double
dribbles.
dribble. Wasted half of the time that was left. Huge costly mistake. As Berlin sets up the press break.
Beaver holding onto that ball, probably hoping that the clock would run out, but they won't have enough time.
2.6 seconds down for McGeever will be shooting another two.
No matter what, no foul.
.6, Berlin up 4, and a decent shot. See if McGeever can put the dagger in this game.
Chances are that is it as McGeever drains her first shot.
I'd say that's the game right there. I mean, crazier things have happened, but
Makes the second.
and that is the game. Lady Redcoats 40, Panthers 34. Not the cleanest game by both teams. Eventually, though, Berlin out on top. Great team win, I'd say, overall.
Yeah, definitely. The just in general, the dynamic between the first half and the second half is really unrecognizable. Berlin started out really slow, eventually picked up their pace, and started playing their own game in the second. But just based on their performance in the first, you wouldn't really think that this game would end up the way it ended up. Platt coming out really strong, understanding what their strengths were, and that being that paint play with West and other players who were key factors for their offense and were working phenomenal for them. Early on in the game, it looked like Berlin was struggling just because Platt was using all of their fouls really all at once, affording them no opportunity later on in the game. They weren't really playing the marathon game, if you could say, but they were just thinking in the moment, which worked out for them in the first half. But eventually, as time went on, we saw they lost West and Alcantara later on in the game to 5 fouls, really sealing their fate at the end of the game when they lost number two West. But just in general, Berlin understanding that longer game, something that we really didn't pick up on early on.
No, I didn't think this would be a marathon game at all, to be quite honest. I did think this would be a burst, like a sprint early on. I really thought that one team would get the lead and kind of hold on to it the whole game. Wasn't the case. It turned out for a pretty entertaining game, but it was nice. Nice ending for Berlin there. As that does bring us to the end of the stream. In case this is our last time, thank you guys so much for watching.
I must say, Connor, there is one more game on Friday, but we don't know if the whole broadcast will be there.
It's up in the air.
Right.
We have a great team with us. We're working all the
Just a quick shout out to them behind us and up top on the cameras, doing a great job as they always done this whole season. So a big thanks to you guys behind the cameras.
Yeah.
And for now, maybe for good, I'm John McGeever.
And I'm Connor Therian.
We're signing off. Make sure you subscribe and have a great day.
Have a great night.